Today I am joined by another former women's basketball player and a Gamecock legend, a professional basketball player, coach, Dobo, my friend Ashley Bruner. Ashley, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I did some research on you, and and your journey into basketball was a little bit unconventional. You were a cheerleader initially, weren't you?
I was. I dibbled and dabbled in multiple sports before I settled.
When did you start to notice South Carolina coaches popping up at your court and taking notice in you?
My girl, Coach McCray, she actually was at, where was she? Western Kentucky or something like that. So,
yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so she saw me play against Brittany Griner in Dallas, and that was like, that was like the beginning for me. Mm-hmm. And I think when she went to South Carolina, she was like, we need to check this girl out. So Coach Daly actually pulled up to Norman High.
No, she didn't.
Pulled up to Norman High.
I like
and
that.
Everybody was like, "Oh well, we should just go home. Coach Daly, Don Staley is here. Let's
literally though. I mean, just being real." Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Coop, the show that celebrates the past and present sung and unsung legends of USC athletics. Today I am joined by another former women's basketball player and a Gamecock legend, a professional basketball player, coach, Dobo, the whole nine. My friend Ashley Bruner. Ashley, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you here. We have lots to get into today. How have you been doing? I mean, you're back in Oklahoma, your home state. How does that feel?
I mean, I don't think there's a better feeling. You know, I get to see my nephews, I get to see my dad all the time, my aunts. So I think that was a big part of why I actually came home, because I was like, you know, this is a great opportunity. My head coach is amazing, Chris Vincent, he's great. And also my family's here. So. Absolutely.
Yeah, it must feel like a pretty significant full circle moment for you. You know, you started in Norman, you know, you go through your whole basketball career, and now you're here coaching again. Did you see yourself getting into coaching initially, like when you were first starting your journey?
This is probably my favorite question, because I feel like I've always been like a player coach, you know, but I thought I was going to play forever. You know, you never really think that things change, life changes. So it was kind of overseas, you know, I'm like coaching, I'm helping with the younger teams. And then I tore my Achilles that COVID year. So I was like, I have to find something to do. I have to find something, you know, I'm not just going to sit on my butt every day. So I started coaching high school basketball, boys basketball. And I was like, I like this. Like, I'm good at this. I'm relatable. So I was like, maybe I should look into this a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely, it's a very smooth transition for basketball players to get into coaching, because we've been there and we know what it's about. And like you said, that relatability. And you actually started at Gray, didn't you? So you went to school in Columbia, played overseas. You were overseas for a while.
Yeah.
And then you came back to Columbia. That's pretty cool. You've had some full circle moments throughout your whole career. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So on this show, I like to talk a little bit about what my guest has going on currently, and then I like to take it all the way back to the beginning of your playing career when you got into basketball. But I did some research on you, and and your journey into basketball was a little bit unconventional. You were a cheerleader initially, weren't you?
I was. I dibbled and dabbled in multiple sports before I settled.
Nice. Well, tell me about your childhood, your upbringing, what got you to basketball, a little bit about cheerleading, you know, just all of that.
Well, my mom played basketball here in Oklahoma City. My dad played basketball. He played in college. So it was destined in a way. But I played I was a cheerleader, like you said. I only cheered because my brother was on the football team, my older brother. So that was fun. You know, I still look at myself as a girly girl to this day. So that was fitting for me. And then the next year I actually played football, like pads and everything. I was the only girl in the league. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. You know, I feel like I'm still aggressive and stuff, but it just wasn't the sport for me, like the outdoors and sticky sweat. Yeah, it wasn't for me.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But I think it was the next year, I played in a rec league, and again, I was the only girl on a men's team or on a boys team. Played with my older brother. My mom was my coach. She had Jordan on her hip during the whole time. Like, so yeah, very unconventional in a way. I just went through all these sports to figure out what exactly I like to do, and basketball just kind of stayed with me.
Nice. Yeah, well, talk to me about your upbringing too, because you're the only girl to 5 brothers. I mean, that's like, that could be, I mean, you know, I'm an only child, so whenever I talk to people about siblinghood, like I'm kind of, I don't really know a whole lot, but like, tell me about that dynamic that you guys had. Like,
I actually have a sister on my dad's side as well.
Okay.
Just met her a little bit later in life, but we're like thick as thieves now.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I was like the princess, you know? Like my mom, I'm a mom's only daughter, so I was the princess. I was number 2, you know, in the household, regardless of what my older brother says. I was number 2. We're going with my flow. So,
Exactly.
So,
right.
But I mean, it was great. We are always outside. That was back when kids played outside, playing basketball outside against boys every single day. I think that kind of molded me into being just that dog of a player that it doesn't matter who I'm going against, I'm going to try to kick your butt. So
absolutely.
Yeah, my older brother Ronnie, he played college ball. My little brother Ronquise played college ball, and then, you know, Jordan and Tommy, who are still currently professionals.
Yes,
which is crazy to
It's crazy to me. Oh my gosh. Like, especially like growing up with Tommy and then just like seeing his journey, how he was killing it at Denver. That was so freaking cool. I mean, I know you were so happy for him.
Yeah, this is like, these were my babies at one point. Like Jordan, you know, he's 6'11" now, playing in Japan. So I'm just like, you're still my baby, but
exactly. But you're my big baby.
You're my
right.
But Tommy has his first game actually tonight, so.
Really?
Yeah. Whew.
Are you excited?
I'm trying not to be like, you know, overly stressed out about it, but I am my mother's daughter, so.
Right, exactly. You even made it to some games out there last year, didn't you? I mean, like while coaching, because
So I got to go to senior night, and it was like, it was just the best experience. Like, they love him so much out there in Denver. They treat him so well. They welcome us. My mom's at every home game, so it was just the fact that I could go and like experience it was just, it's like
that's
the
very
ultimate
special.
big sister experience, you know.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And then, so like you're growing up, your brothers, you know, they help mold you in that way into the basketball player that you are now, and were in college. But talk to me a little bit about your high school experience and like ultimately your recruitment process, which got you to South Carolina.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's funny being back in Oklahoma and everybody's like, you're from Norman. And I'm just like, I went to high school in Norman. I'm from Oklahoma City.
Right.
So, but my mom, she's the type that if she sees like a great opportunity for us, she's going to put us in the best situation possible. So, and Norman was that situation. My coach, Matilda Mossman, she was a former college coach. She went on to coach at Tulsa after I graduated from high school. So they were winners. You know, she had a great reputation. So my mom moved us down to Norman. Had 1 year in middle school in Norman, and then high school we took off. Like it was she really prepared me for what to expect in the college world. But I had a great time in high school. I loved it. Like, high
Tell
school
me
basketball,
about it.
It was great. Like I still have like great friends from high school basketball. My AAU teammates, we were probably anybody says Oklahoma Select, you know exactly who they're talking about. Like,
Okay.
anybody
Okay.
around Oklahoma,
right.
you know who you're talking about.
You know the roster, right?
Yeah, you know the roster had 6 or 7 D1.
Oh wow.
girls.
Yeah, y'all are stacked.
Kansas State, OSU. I feel like somebody went to North Texas. We had 4 girls go to OSU. Me, obviously,
Yeah.
South Carolina. A girl from Mercer. Like, just stacked. Won a couple. I think we won like 2 or 3 national championships. Won the Adidas national championship. Going into my senior year. So.
Oh dang.
Yeah,
y'all were loaded.
We were like that.
Yes, definitely.
We were like that.
What are some of your, like, do you have any AAU memories that stand out to you? Because honestly, like, for me, I've talked about it on here before, but like my AAU experience was a little bit unconventional in terms of like how I ended up getting to college. But I had the best time during AAU. Like we would go to the embassy, we would go to the embassy suites. You know how they're set up like a big square and like all the floors are connected. We would play like manhunt. We would go to the pool. It was just like the best time. AAU was like some of the best times. So do you have any memories that stand out to you from those years?
Well, that was like the pre-TikTok era, but we were all entertainers. Like we loved to dance, and that was when, you know, Young Jock, we were making videos to that, Soulja Boy, all that. I remember we were in Tennessee, and they had like like where you could record a song and have like a CD of it. I wish I still had the CD, but we sang, what was it? Let It Burn.
Oh, that's awesome. That's hilarious.
Let It Burn. And I'm just like, at this point, like, why are we singing a slow tempo song and it's like a group of 10 girls?
Right.
And that was probably one of my favorite memories. Like, why are we in the mall making a CD at
literally
16 years old?
That's hilarious. Those were definitely some good times.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely entertainers, a group of entertainers for sure.
But y'all made it work. I mean, that chemistry that y'all built outside of basketball helped elevate y'all to the level of success that you had when it got time to step on the court. And when did you start to notice South Carolina coaches popping up at your court and taking notice in you?
You know, it was my girl, Coach McCrae. She actually was at, where was she? Western Kentucky or something like that. So,
yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so she saw me play against Brittany Griner in Dallas, and that was like, that was like the beginning for me. And I think when she went to South Carolina, she was like, we need to check this girl out. So Coach Daly actually pulled up to Norman High.
No, she didn't.
Pulled up to Norman High.
I like that.
And everybody was like, "Oh well, we should just go home. Coach Daly is here. Let's
literally though. I mean, just being real. Just be real with yourselves.
Everybody
like,
should just go home. All the coaches over there, they're like, we should just all go home. Like
literally.
Don Staley's
here. Because at this point, she had just gotten to South Carolina for real. Like it was she joined the team in 2008, and this was 2009 when you joined. So I mean, yeah, she's new on the block. She's trying to build a team. Yeah, it's time. Just go home, everybody.
Yeah, everybody it's over. She's flying out to Oklahoma. Like everybody, you know what? We can't put this.
What was that like for you? I mean, that's so. Did you know she was coming, or did she pop up on you?
No, she literally just popped up and was like, we saw her in the stands. She was talking to my coach, and I was like, "Can I talk to her? Can I talk to her?"
Yeah.
Like,
hey, girl. Right. That's so cool. Right. That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Coach McCrae is amazing, and Coach Staley is amazing. I mean, she's definitely goes all out with recruitment, and I mean, as she should.
Yeah,
she recruits great, and I mean, she's an amazing coach. I don't know who wouldn't want to play for her. But yeah, did you have like a top 5 at the time, or like any sort of something like that?
I believe I went to like visits to North Texas, Western Kentucky, and I had like an unofficial to Pepperdine just because I was in California over the summer visiting my papa. So they were like, "Oh, just come down." And Pepperdine, obviously, if you've ever been to Pepperdine, it's in Malibu. It's right on a cliff.
It's gorgeous. It's so pretty. That would have been hard to turn down. I can't lie.
Well, I mean, when SEC comes a knocking,
that you got to answer. You got to answer. If Coach Staley is knocking at your door, you want Malibu Coast or do you want the legendary Donna Staley? We're going to go over here. Yeah.
Rubbing my hands like Birdman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then you get to South Carolina. You're a part of one of those first formative teams. Mm-hmm. What was it like when you got there as a freshman? Like, what are some of your first impressions of it?
I don't know what I was expecting in regards to, like, fan base and just the support, for the school in whole, like, as a total. Like, because we would go to football games and I'm like, this is a lot of people.
I'm sure it was certainly a culture shock for you. I mean, it is. Sports are huge here. Every sport. Yeah. And football, definitely.
Yeah.
But I understand that.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest shock for me was just going to a football game and I'm like, these people are out here in 98-degree weather for a football game.
And they've been here. If it's a 12 p.m. right? If it's a 12 p.m. game, they've been here since like at least 7 a.m. Like maybe before. Yeah. Drunk said 7. Yeah. It's 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, they go all out. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But that's pretty cool. So then you get immersed into this new environment. You're getting introduced to your teammates. Like, tell me about that. Like some of your first memories with your teammates and kind of what that was like.
So me and Aisha Walker are like best friends, like attached at the hip. We were at Tuskegee together. When I first met her, she didn't say anything to anybody. Like, really? It was just like, I'm here to hoop and I'm here to go to school. Like,
oh wow.
She didn't say that, but I was 17, so that's how it came across to me. Like, oh, she doesn't like us. Like,
yeah.
But it took her a while to warm up. I'm like naturally outward and but it just took her a while, and like after that we were best of friends. Like that point guard post player connection, we had it 4 years, so we still have it. Like when we used to play at Tuskegee, we still had it. So.
That's cool. That's very cool. Was she kind of like the first person on the team that you bonded with quickly like that?
Her and Ebony Wilson. It was kind of like that because we were all in the same space. We were all taking the same like kind of beginners classes and courses. So we just meshed and we clicked.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. What are some of your first memories of Coach Staley? Because that's something else I've talked about on here too. How her coaching style has progressed and changed throughout the years.
Speak on it.
I want you to speak on it. You speak on it.
It was a bit of a shock to go from like an older coach, to a younger, little bit more hip coach, kind of coaching staff. You just had to adapt. Like, she would say things that we would just be like, I've never heard this before, or I don't know, what she's talking about, or you just have to adapt, you have to learn. It was really like on the fly, learning on the fly, especially for me. I was a super sheltered child, shout out to my mom again. But just some of the stuff that we had to like, just adapt. You had to adapt. It wasn't going to be for you. So I think that initially is why I'm able to go to 9 different countries, and fit in, adapt, and still be that top level player that I was like all those years. So
absolutely, because I mean, like I said before, like this is the first or her second season at South Carolina. She's trying to turn this program around. I mean, she's trying to get people in the stands. She's trying to build something here. And I mean, with that comes some tough love, comes some tough coaching.
Yes.
So are there some practices? Are there some in particular situations and moments that stick out to you? We don't have to get, incriminating, but me personally, like I haven't heard a lot of the stories of what she was like in those earlier years of her career at South Carolina. So I would just like some more insight on that.
She was strict. Like, and again, I came from a sheltered home, the only girl, single parent. So I thought I had a little bit of freedom coming to college, you know? Me and time did not get along. Like,
Heard.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just didn't get along. That's all I'm saying. We didn't get along. So that was kind of my struggle, at least my first 2 years of college, like just being on time. So that, and her being, I'm not going to say strict, but her having expectations for all of us didn't match her expectations. So that was kind of my trouble my first couple of years. So that's a self-infliction, obviously. Because if I just changed that one thing, maybe I wouldn't be so always in trouble.
Right.
I was in trouble often. I'm not above speaking on it now.
Absolutely not. Then you're going to defend yourself. Right, exactly.
Right,
exactly.
So, but yeah.
Exactly. we gotta go through these things. We gotta work some of these kinks out. You know, it's just part of the game. I mean, there's plenty of people who struggle with time during my time as well, and it just happens. It happens to the best of us.
It does.
But your team also gained success pretty quickly throughout your career. You guys made it to the WNIT, and then you made it to the NCAA tournament, and then the Sweet 16. So that's like boom. That's like quick progression for y'all as far as success goes. Tell me about the progression of your college career from your freshman year. Because did you guys how far did you make it your freshman year? Was that NIT or was that? Talk about it.
My freshman year, I think we were 18 and 15.
Okay.
Something along those lines. Like there was no postseason. No postseason my freshman year. We had some changes and stuff going into my sophomore year. Sophomore year, I think we made it to the WNIT. I think it was Charlotte we lost to. First round, second round, and then I think the biggest thing was the recruiting. Obviously, we got players in there. We got hoopers in there. Like, Elam Ibiam came my junior year. Elisa Welch, obviously. She got people in, so I think that was the biggest thing. And then having the same group, the same core group, me, Keisha, Isha, Markeisha, Ebony, that core, Charnay, Courtney, that core of players that had already bought in and locked in, and now you're bringing in people that can really go.
Get it done.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I think that was probably the biggest change sophomore into junior year. And that's what helped us get to the Sweet 16, which I believe was her first Sweet 16.
Yeah, it was. You're right. You're absolutely right. So, snaps to you.
Thank you. Love that.
Yeah. Markeisha, I had Markeisha on the show too. She was telling me some about that Sweet 16 year. And that was pretty special because you guys, did you win the SEC tournament that year, or I don't remember?
No,
you're gonna have to re-educate me on that season. I want to hear about it from your
No, ma'am.
Your perspective.
It was above average season, that the SEC season. Like we beat Tennessee at Tennessee. I'm pretty sure it was that year.
I remember her telling me about that. Yeah,
that was like a huge thing, a huge deal. But no, we didn't win the SEC. I think we made it to quarterfinals, maybe.
Yeah. Because y'all you had to go through the whole tournament. Y'all had those 2 games, and then you're tired. Like that's a lot. That is a lot on your plate for sure.
But yeah, so we knew, and when we got to the NCAA tournament, we were like, these people don't know us. Like, they haven't played the type of basketball that we've played. SEC basketball is completely different. Purdue is in the Big Ten. No hate to the Big Ten, obviously, but SEC basketball is like, it's different.
It's SEC basketball, yeah.
It's different.
It is.
I don't even remember who we played first that year. But when it came to Purdue, everybody was just expecting them to blow us out, and we kind of dog walked them a little bit.
Don't be shy. It is what it is. Yeah. No, but I mean that's something that I like to talk about too. Is like, especially because I think Marquisha was telling me that people were getting Twitter fingers about that game, or there was chatter on the internet about that matchup, and it's like, why would y'all do that? Like, that's just fuel for us. Yeah. And especially, and not even on the internet, but when anyone doubts our team, that's just like. Yeah. Okay, so watch this. Like
we had people in our own camp. I'm not gonna say any names. If you want to text me after, we had people in our own camp that were saying, "Ooh, well, I can't wait to go to this tomorrow." I'm like, we still have.
What do you mean tomorrow? We got a whole game. Like tonight, what you talking about?
So you think we're gonna lose? Basically, what you're saying? So because you're gonna have a free day tomorrow. Noted.
Wow. Nah.
Noted.
Yeah.
We still talk about this to this day. Like, you remember when
really
was expecting us to lose? Girl, yeah, I remember. Like,
that's so funny. That's so funny. I mean, not like haha funny, but like, come on now.
Funny weird.
Yeah, funny. Exactly. That is so crazy. Nah, but y'all gained success very quickly, and y'all were definitely like that team that got Coach Staley and the whole program in that direction of continuing success and achieving high things throughout those seasons. I remember because you're a post player, but you're an undersized post player, and I put a pin in our conversation now. You were talking about how you were playing against Brittany Griner. Were you guarding Brittany Griner?
Yes.
Girl.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes,
talk to me about that.
She uppercut
what?
me.
What do you mean? Oh my God. Are you serious?
So I mean, this was before obviously I'm just gonna be quiet. But we were playing. She was posting up. I'm the type of player that likes to get under skin. Like, I'm gonna alter your game by getting on your nerves. So I was just touching her, bumping her, whatever. We were in the post, whatever. She kind of just, and it's like this part of her arm that just me, a flopper, certified.
Woo! I'm going back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Charge. Yes. Get her out of here.
That's so funny. My God.
That was the game Coach McCray went to, actually, and saw me like.
And she's like, I like that. I need that.
Yeah. So.
So that's kind of.
Love your game.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. No hate, no shade, no hate. But I remember that uppercut. Like. Yeah. So that style of play of yours translated into college. I mean, I'm sure, but just graduated even more. I remember I watched a video. It was like a little like a player special on YouTube that they did. You considered yourself a slippery player. I do my research now. Don't play with me. I do my research. But yeah, and with that word slippery, I also saw that you are very into ballet, and you wasn't your major theater?
It was theater.
Yeah,
major. Theater girl.
What about theater has like caught your interest? Like, what made you take that direction in college?
I had a lot of energy, and I love being on camera. I love being behind the camera. I love directing. I love doing all that stuff, choreography, all that stuff. It's just so interesting to me. So I was like, I like journalism, but I don't like it enough. Like,
right.
So I'm like, what's the avenue that I can take that will challenge me, but I also get to, step outside my comfort zone and be on camera or behind the camera. And I, talked to my advisor. She was like, well, what about theater? Like, and I was like, you know what? I was a theater kid.
Okay.
I talked to my mom about this like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, you remember when we went to theater? It was like a camp during the summer. Me and my brother went, and we had performances and everything. So the fact that I didn't think off rip, like, this is what I want to do. But when I started taking courses, the classes and stuff, the people that I met, the professors I had, I was like, yeah, this is for me. So I thought I was going to be on Why Did I Get Married 6 or something like that. By the time I was out of school, I felt like it was going to be the 6th movie. I think there's only 3.
That's so funny.
I was like, oh yeah, Tyler Perry.
That's super cool though. And I mean, it definitely, like, that's a good major for an athlete who's so consumed with like that lifestyle. I mean, the athlete lifestyle is a lot, especially like student athlete. And then, but when your student side of it is something that you're also very passionate about and brings you a lot of joy, that helps you just in all areas of life. So I bet that was a good time.
Yeah, it was great. I don't think I ever missed class. Like,
see, that's awesome.
I was always. I might have been late. I might have been late,
but we didn't miss. But we were there. we got there at some point.
Exactly.
And that's what matters. That's what counts.
Yeah, exactly.
So going back to basketball now. So what was your senior year like of college?
Senior year was like I think me, Aisha, and Lisa were captains. So that was like my year that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the reins. Like we're gonna do everything the right way. I'm going to be that leader. If you don't listen to me, I'm going to the head. I don't care. Like, if you're not going to listen, if you're going to do stuff against what we're doing, I'm snitching. And I tell them this. I still tell them this. I will snitch on you. I don't care. I'm snitching.
God,
if you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
At least you're being real.
You're not going to ruin my senior year. You're not going to ruin my senior year. If you're out here doing
Absolutely
stuff,
not.
You're not.
You should be selfish. You should be selfish about your senior year. Yes, especially because this was the first season that you started every game, right? So it's like, like, we're here now. You're not about to ruin this for me.
You're not.
Like,
you're not going to
tread lightly.
Attitude. You're not going to talk crazy to your teammates. I'm snitching on you. Didn't care. And I told them. I would tell them straight up, like, this is not what we're doing.
I love that.
But yeah, I think that was the first year we did like no fried foods. The first year I really like saw abs poking through. So you know when you do something you're supposed to do and you get the results that you're looking for, it's like,
you're like, wow, that's so crazy. Really, it works. What?
She was right. Okay. So so that was like we went to Virgin Islands for that first tournament, won the tournament, and that's kind of where it kind of took off for us. And I think we started 11-0. That season, 9-0, something like that, and then we played Stanford at home, lost by 4.
That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, lost by 4 at home, and it was such a winnable game. Like it's such a winnable game. But you know, down the stretch.
Was it one of those that like got away from you all at the end, or like how'd that go?
We were neck and neck the whole game. You know, I didn't perform how I probably should have, and I think that's what kind of the difference, because it was, what's the younger sister's name? Agumake. Is it Neka? No, Neka's
was it Neka?
Is that the older one?
Or is it
Shanae.
Yeah. Yes.
It was, So that was my matchup.
Oh, that's a dogfight.
Yeah. So I didn't.
I'm sure you gave her the work. Yeah. It happens. It's basketball.
I don't think she like killed us. I'm gonna go back and look, but I don't think she like killed us. But it was just like, it was one of those games we could have got it home, but it just kind of slipped.
Yeah, it happens. It just happens. That is a heartbreaker though. Yeah. But did that kind of like how'd that impact the rest of y'all's season, or did it? Was it just kind of thing? I mean, because a lot of the times you just gotta like be sad about it for that 24 hours or a little bit, but then when that next practice comes, it's clean slate. It's time to keep it pushing.
I think that was just kind of a wake up call, you know, because we were like 11-0 to start, and we're thinking like, oh yeah, we got this, like we, you know. And they come in, you know, beat us by 4, and they were ranked. We still weren't ranked. I don't believe we were ranked yet. But I think that was like kind of our wake up call to stop. We're good, but there's levels, and I feel like everybody says this every single year. Like, oh yeah, they're pretty good, but there's definitely like tiers to women's college basketball.
Absolutely.
So, while we may have been that middle to high tier, there's still that high tier in the high. Exactly. And that, I mean, that takes years to build. Like that just doesn't happen. I mean, I feel like our program, you know, managed to get to that top tier extremely quickly compared to others. I mean, especially from the Dawn Staley era. Right.
But yeah, you guys were definitely a very formative part of that process. And then your post grad, you went overseas, and you were everywhere. Everywhere, girl. Like Miss Worldwide. Seriously. So tell me about your overseas experience, because I know like the pro players that I've had on, they did a couple seasons of overseas, or it's like, you know, they're in the league and then they would go overseas during the off season. But I mean, you were in there, and didn't you do it for like, how many years were you overseas?
8.
8. That's a lot. Like, yeah. Did you love it?
I loved it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a lifestyle, you know, like a lot of people that say it's like not for them is because you didn't immerse. You don't try to immerse yourself. You have to immerse yourself into the culture over there, like your teammates. I understand some people are like, oh, I'm just a lone wolf or whatever, but you're not gonna you can't survive.
No, not in a foreign country. Like you have to.
Exactly.
You have to.
So after, you know, because when I was at South Carolina, like I was also a passer. Like I was a scorer, but I was a passer. That's one thing when you go overseas, you have to understand you're here to produce. Like you're not here to just pass it off. No, go get 2. Like
no, this is FIBA. This is FIBA, baby. They don't play.
FIBA, this is not college.
They don't play. They don't play.
So that was definitely one thing I had to learn. My rookie season overseas was like 15 and 12. That's great stats in college basketball.
Yeah.
You gotta go get 25. You gotta go get 25.
We need 25, 15, like
every single night.
Every game, exactly.
Every night I need 25. Like
yes. And where were you overseas initially? Your rookie season, where did you start out?
I was in Spain. I was in Mallorca, Spain, yeah. And I've been to so many places, like lived in so many places that are like these amazing like resort vacation places, and in the moment I'm like, oh, this is cool, I'm on the beach, like. But
I'm just casually at the beach in Spain, right?
Are ranked in the world for nicest beach, nicest summer vacation, nicest holiday, you know. So I was literally like 3 different places like that. So that was definitely a blessing to experience as a 21-year-old.
Right. I think that's so cool that you got that experience. I mean, I personally, if I would have like wanted to go pro, or like, because for me, I never wanted to play professional basketball. Just had to put that out there. Like even in high school, when I started to realize that like it was something I could do, like and be good at, playing professionally was never something I had in mind of pursuing. But had that been the case, I would have loved to go overseas. I mean, like the idea of living in a foreign country is just so cool to me. And immersing yourself in their cultures, no matter where you are, is vital. You have to. Like you have to. Was there a favorite place that you played? Because you were in. I wrote it down. Hold up. Ecuador, France, Italy, Portugal, Puerto Rico, and Spain. Goodness, that's a lot.
Did you say Italy?
What was? I did say Italy.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know if you skipped that.
Yeah, no, I, of course not.
Favorite place? We're not talking basketball. We're talking place.
Well, we can answer both, and they can be different.
Favorite place? That's hard. It's in between Italy, obviously, and France, because where I was in France, Hainaut, it's like 2 hours from Paris, hour and a half from Brussels, 4 hours from Amsterdam. Like perfect location.
My gosh. Yeah.
Perfect location, and obviously I visited all those places multiple times. So, but Italy, I was in Torino, which is a big city. It's Western Italy. 3 hours from Nice, hour and a half from Milan. You can train everywhere in Italy. So we went to Rome, we went to Valencia. I rode on the gondola. Like,
that's so cool.
Everything. I've experienced everything that these countries had to offer. I will say, I'm going to go with Italy because of the food.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm in an Italian country, and the sushi is the best sushi I've ever had in my entire life.
Are you serious?
I swear.
Oh my gosh.
I put it on Italy's sushi. That I'm so serious.
I was in Italy and I didn't get the sushi. I feel like I failed. I feel like I failed epically now. Like, do I even know how to travel?
You
can just go back. Just go back. And what part of Italy were you in?
Torino. It was
Torino. Okay.
Yeah, very far northwest. So.
Oh, that sounds gorgeous.
It was really nice. Yeah.
And as far as your basketball experience overseas, where was your favorite place or your favorite team that you were on?
My favorite team? It's so hard, and I hope they don't feel any type of way.
You don't have to pick a favorite. We could talk about your favorite memories. We could talk about like teams, plural,
Oh, that's hard. I'll have to say that the COVID year, 1920, that was probably my favorite team. I had Ezinne Kalu, who's on Nigerian team. She's a point guard for Team Nigeria. She was my point guard. Taylor Wirtz, who she went to Wisconsin. She was my two guard. And then just the French players that I had on my team were so warm and inviting, and that was so different from my previous years on my other French team. So it was that was probably my favorite team just altogether. We wanted to hang out together.
That's so cool.
And then I'll throw in, I was only there for 4 months. After I tore my Achilles, I just went back. I was like, this is my closure. I went back to the same team, but my guards and just the whole team, because again, I went in February. They were just amazing people. Destiny Slocum, you know Destiny Slocum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she went to Arkansas for a little while.
Yes.
Ify, Beckway, man, Promise, oh my gosh, and also Louisa, she plays for Team Germany.
Okay.
We still make plans to get together. I saw
that's sweet.
I saw Ify and Promise in Portland this summer. Ify invited us out to her house, so just knowing that I've made these type of relationships in my career is after meeting these people and being with these people for 4 months, and we're the best of friends, I feel like that says a lot about me, again, my adaptability, but also about them and who they are. So yeah, I'll say that's my second favorite team, but it might be a little tied. It's a little tied. It might be
just
tied.
a little tied. That's okay.
It's a tie.
We can do that. Yeah, I do think it's incredibly special that you had that experience, and just you have to. It is what you make it. In any situation you walk into, and it sounds like you made the absolute most of it. So that makes me very happy. But then you said you tore your Achilles. That's really hard. That's a very hard injury to get through. And then you started coaching. You went back to Columbia to coach in the middle of COVID, amidst COVID just happening.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. I mean, I'm sure that was a lot for you.
Well, Gray Collegiate is where Tommy went to school, so we had I had a pre-existing relationship with the head coach and the assistants and stuff. So he was just just come on in and do what you can. I'm having to rehab and stuff like that, trying to get back to running and being able to actually play basketball. So yeah, that was a really inviting experience from Gray and the coaches there. We lost in I think Upper State that year, Upper State, to Christ School. Child, that was so long ago, my memory.
It's okay. I literally can't remember anything that's ever happened to me. So it's okay.
Anything that's ever happened to you, that's weird.
Yeah, I totally understand. So then you were there for, were you there for a year or?
The next
2 years.
year took over the girls program.
That's right. You were head coach of the girls program.
Yeah, it was.
That's cool. Yeah. What was that like for you?
It was like having a bunch of kids, they talk to me about everything, they come to me about everything, they're texting me at midnight, and I'm just like, y'all, auntie is tired, I'm not up right now. Please text me before 10 p.m. That would be great. But
literally.
Still, again, keep those relationships to this day. And some of the parents, Facebook is forever, basically.
Yes.
So, yeah, still keep those relationships. It was just, I was still in between. I was like, because I went back to play after that season. So I was like, is this what I want to do? And then, college opportunities came after that. So it was just like, well, this is really what I want to do. So let me go ahead and that's when I went to Tuskegee, and they were like, they were a prestigious program. They were so good in back-to-back-to-back years. And we eventually won the SEAC conference tournament and regular season, went undefeated in conference. So, sometimes you have to make that leap, even though you do have these relationships at, maybe a different level. You have to make that leap for yourself, because it's, at the end of the day, I'm promoting myself. So.
Certainly. And I mean, they understand. That's how it goes. Like, anywhere you go, you want to be moving up, and sometimes that requires you having to take a step and leaving some relationships. But if it's genuine relationships that you made, then they're not going anywhere. It's just you're moving on.
Yeah.
So then after that, after Tuskegee, you were the director of ops at UNCW. Yeah, tell me about that, because that's a hard job. That really is
so hard.
That's a lot. I mean, like, I like CJ and Ari. I think about like what they have on their plate, and I'm like, oh my god, like, y'all got to get the hotels, y'all got to get the meals, y'all got to make the practice schedules, you got to get the game schedules, and I mean, it can go on and on.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. So talk to me. Yeah, tell me about that.
It was. I like when I have experiences, and I immediately know this is not for me,
Yes.
I love when I have an experience and I'm like, it's a no for me, but I'm going to do my absolute best to be the best Bobo that I can currently be. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to work my tail off to be the best. But it was not the best season, obviously. I think we won like 5 games or something like that. So it wasn't the best experience. And coming from like a championship team to that, and coming from, just different vibes, and coming to that was just hard on me. Like, I was having like outbreaks, like hives and stuff, just from stress.
That's stress, yes.
That's stress, man. That's stress. Like, Ari, help me.
I'm drowning over here.
Help me, Ari, please. But
right.
But that's just another part, and I was thinking to myself, I'm praying to God, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how can I handle this in a better way without it, really like tearing me up on the inside, like. So all the good experiences that I've had in life, and like with basketball and all that stuff, and I feel like this was for me to really figure out how to deal when things are just not great, and how to still be me, and how to still bring that same light to every situation, even though this isn't something this is something I know I don't want to do. So I think that kind of propelled me to be. Because, we all have outside stuff going on. We all have things that
certainly
affect us. But it's like, how are you the same person every day? How do you show up for people every day? So I think that was I had that experience to push me into who I am now, and who I'll be, I hope, prayerfully forever. To just be me, my authentic self, bring the joy that I bring the light that I bring every day, no matter what is going on the outside. Because in those lines, like, nothing from the outside gets in. Nothing. Ever.
Yes.
I feel like I've always been like that, but that just showed me, like, you're strong enough. Like, and you can get through anything, and you can handle anything. So.
Yep. Yeah. I think everyone needs experiences like that. Truly. I mean, that was kind of what post-grad was for me. Like, I felt lost. And I tried a bunch of different jobs, and I tried a bunch of things, and I was like, most of them, it was just like, no. And it was just like, we need those hard lessons, and we need to be put on our heels a little bit. We need to be rocked to really, like, show us who we truly are, and that we can do these things. We need, because me personally, I don't really believe in the word failure. I feel like everything that we do is just like a lesson to propel us, like you said, to where we need to be. So it's just, it's just how you perceive those things. But it's really positive to hear that you had that sort of a mindset in that experience, because I mean, that is a lot. It sounds like it was, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I like how you said you don't say like it's failure, and they're just lessons. Because I'll tell people, like, I've lived 3-4 different lives since I was 27. Like, I was trying to be a realtor, I was trying to be a teacher, like, all these different things, and I'm just like, I need to stick to what I actually enjoy.
Exactly.
And what I can get the most out of every single day. And for me, that's coaching.
Yeah, that's very special. And now you're back in your home state. Now you're back at Langston. That's very exciting. Are you feeling like you're at peace now?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a workload, obviously.
Obviously.
But when you really enjoy what you do every single day and you get up and you're like excited to go to work, like, oh, is it 9 o'clock yet? Like, that's my alarm.
Yeah, right.
I wake up before my alarm.
Yes.
When I wake up before my alarm, it's like, yeah.
That makes me really happy. Yeah, that's amazing. That's very heartwarming to hear that you're in a position like that where you're excited to do what you're doing. I mean, I wish that for everybody, you know.
Right.
But yeah, and I mean, your season's just started. But how are you enjoying things so far?
We have a really special group, and I know people say that all the time, but just the personalities on our group, the work ethic that they have, they're really special. And we're 6-1. We started the season 6-1, and they're telling me, like, this is the best season we've had in years. The best start to the season that we've had in years. So obviously there are still kinks to work out. Adapting, right? That's the word of the day. Being able to adapt. So, and that's what I try to, like, push off on them, you know, being able to adapt to new situations. So we have so many new players, you know, so, but it's exciting. Like, every day is a great day, you know, even when we don't have a great practice, it's like, what else would I want to do?
Yeah, that's very exciting.
At you guys every single day. I love you guys. That's at you. I don't.
That's very sweet. No, I love that. That's very exciting to hear. I know you're very busy, but I would love to see you sometime this season if you're if you're ever in the area for whatever reason. But I know you're super busy. But yeah, I'm very happy for you that you're in this coaching position that you're enjoying a lot and you feel fulfilled, and it's just all the things. And we got to go through these trials and tribulations and these lessons to get there, and that's what makes them even more special. Yeah. So this has been a great episode. I've really enjoyed talking to you. And before I end each episode, I like to ask my guests 2 questions. The first one is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received, or what is a piece of advice you would want to share with others?
I think I shared this with a friend because I went to church. The last time I went to church, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and it said to keep being good. Like, that was the word of the day. Like, keep being good. Don't look around at what other people are doing that maybe aren't doing the right things. You keep doing the right things. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. Keep being good. I tweet that all the time. I tweet it all the time. So for me to go to church and this is what the pastor is preaching, like, keep being good. Keep being good. That's the best thing I can say to anyone. Like, oh, I'm struggling with this, and this isn't going right for me. Keep being good. Keep doing all the things the right way, and watch. Just watch. I believe. Yes. I'm not gonna say I believe in karma, but in a way, I believe in karma. If you're doing everything right, if you're being kind to people, if you're doing everything right.
Yes. Right, if you're putting good things out there, you're going to get good things back.
Thank you so much. Things will come back. So if you're doing the opposite, I believe the opposite.
Exactly.
Keep being
Everything's in motion. I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. Because you can only control your attitude and your effort. There's so many things that we are just out of our hands. So you might as well have a good disposition about it. So, yeah.
Exactly.
And lastly, if you weren't what you're currently doing, if you weren't a basketball player, if you weren't a coach, what would you be doing?
You know what I would be doing.
She'd be on that stage.
I probably would have been in Wicked.
Oh, okay, heard. Love it.
I probably would have been in Wicked. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice, yes. So you would have been dabbling in the arts.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah.
You would have excelled. And I
would've
mean,
excelled.
it's not even like it's too late. I mean, you can get back into that if you wanted to. You know?
When I'm like 45, I might see what I can do.
Absolutely. It's in you. It's in you. So it's nothing to pick it back up. Yeah. Well, Ash, it's been great to have you. Tell Tommy I say hi if next time you talk to him, and I hope he's doing well and Jordan's doing well. But it was really, really nice talking to you today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a great season. I'll be watching. I'll be tuning in. So, yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, I will talk to you soon.
All right.
And, yeah, thank you again.